Welcome to sportsbookreview.com, and it's the Bundesliga last weekend. Well, we had a good time of it. Then midweek, it was tough, but we learnt a lot of things in defeat. Bayern Munich, they basically just wrapped up the title by playing against Dortmund, who wanted to go with 5 across midfield, front screen, 3 players in front of their defence, and they didn't really have a go. They had their odd chance, but against Bayern Munich, you have got to go and take the game to them. You can't sit back because they will do what they do. They show quality and they work harder than anybody else. I've got 2 esteemed guests. I've got Alex and I've got Radek. Alex, I'm going to start with you. Bayern Munich, they came out on top and deservedly so.
Yeah, it was another round where the visitors won more games than the host. I mean, how many games the visitor won? Okay, not many. 2 of them. More points, I wanted to say. The only 2 hosts that won points were Düsseldorf and Hoffenheim. Bayern Munich came and saw and conquered and won the title for the 8th time in a row. They were the better side, but because we have to give them that. But I mean, when you don't have a reserve a player on the bench reserved for Holland, for example, when you don't have Paco Alcácer to enter, you lost Paco Alcácer, you lost Pulisic, you come with Emre Can and with Axel Witsel not 100%, and they were dreadful in the second half. You come with Jadon Sancho, who is at 40%. This lockdown didn't do him good at all. After that, what to say? I think that they were outplayed, let's say, at least in the second half. They had their chances, of course, 2-3 of them. They missed some good opportunities. They were unlucky because the referee made that mistake, not giving that penalty. It was a clear handball. And I don't know what happened to the VAR in Germany, because the VAR in Germany always works, because Germany with technology are at top of the top. But I mean, it was a round for Bayern Munich, because Leipzig, Gladbach, Leverkusen were not able to win their matches. So exactly what Bayern Munich needed. 6 matches till the end of the season, 7 points. I think that the rest of I think Dortmund need a miracle to overcome that deficit. So yeah, that's about it. Now 4 teams are fighting for 3 places for the Champions League spots.
Yeah, Radek, welcome. Now, I think, look, this week there was a few performances that we actually can learn a lot from, and I'm saying Frankfurt, 31 shots on goal. I was going to write them an email and just offer my services to help their strikers. Bit of composure, body position, just take your time, hit the target. It was an absolute disgrace, and obviously I'm talking from my pocket because I had him in a parlay with Bayern as well, but also Freiburg, Koln. There's so many teams to fade down the bottom, and if they're not careful, some of these teams are going to get dragged into a relegation dogfight that we're going to love.
Yeah, but I would accept Freiburg here, because they're not that worst. I think they could have scored or pointed in each of the 3 games since the restart. They almost won against Leipzig. They led 3-1 against Frankfurt and didn't win this game. So Freiburg is not a team in the relegation spots. I think they are totally mediocre, average, but not at the bottom. But yeah, Frankfurt, that's a point. They were very lucky not to lose in the first place, but then if you don't score 30 chances and you don't make more goals out of it, yeah, then you have a real problem. But 3 goals anyway is a good point here. On the other hand, the problem was their defense in this game. So maybe you can go as a defender there as well. And yeah, congratulations to Bayern Munich to the 8th championship in a row. And I didn't see Dortmund that bad. I think they did what they could, but they couldn't do more. And Bayern is mentally way above every team in Germany. And because I follow a lot of international team rankings, and most of them say Bayern Munich is the best team in the world right now. And if there wasn't this break with the Corona crisis, I think they would have won the Champions League as well. I hope they will continue in this Champions League form when they continue the Champions League. But yeah, it's not a shame for Dortmund to lose 1-0 against them and missing a handful of great players, and the other great players couldn't handle this game. All in all, sad for the Bundesliga, because another champion would have been great after years of domination of Bayern Munich. But it's not only the strength of Bayern Munich, it's the weakness of the other teams.
Yeah, I mean, Bayern Munich, mental strength, massive tick. They work harder than any other team, massive tick. Now, there's a few teams that I like the look of, and I think it's low-hanging fruit. I think it's been gift-wrapped to us. I like Wolfsburg. Remember Wolfsburg? They got beat by Dortmund last week, but we said at the time that if they'd have scored when they was on top in that second half, the way they came out, they carried that over, and a great win against... Listen, Leverkusen are a decent side, and I'd want to be with them. And also, Hertha Berlin, and also Juve Rossler's Fortuna, because they've got spirit, they're working hard, they're sticking together. Now get rid of Koln, get rid of Freiburg, Mainz, all of these teams who think they're better than they are. So for me, I'm going to be fading them sides, especially when you've got Freiburg allowing 31 shots, you've got Frankfurt not taking them. So for me, I love this weekend's card, and I think I'm going to do at least a 3-team parlay. Let's kick off with said Freiburg plus 400 draw, plus 300, and Leverkusen at minus 133, Alex.
I always love Bundesliga Friday matches. I think that if I look, because I like to keep count of how I'm doing in these Friday matches in general. I think that I have around 80% winning tips just for Bundesliga Friday matches. So I'm going to give it a go one more time. Radek said about Freiburg that they are a decent side, not a bottom side. I totally agree there. But the mental problems that the players have, not to be able to keep a 2-goal lead, not to be able to keep a 1-goal lead. This happened in three rounds. First of all, against RB Leipzig, and after that 3-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt. They lost 1-0 to Werder Bremen at home. That says a lot. Once again, I will give it to Werder Bremen. I liked them during this mid round. I think that they start to fight for their position in a Bundesliga, and I see a good, and I think that this round they have great chances to beat Schalke, because Schalke doesn't exist right now. But Leverkusen should really bounce back after the midweek disaster. I mean, they lost that 4th position. They are equal on points, okay, with Gladbach. A lot can happen in the next 6 rounds, but I think that we must go with Leverkusen. They are the better side, and they should win this match. I mean, they will see what they did wrong in the midweek round against Wolfsburg, because it was a big disaster. Okay, let's put it this way: 3 goals were from set pieces. So it's the defensive part who has problems, not the attacking part. Volland is still injured, so Kai Havertz will lead the attack there. I see them scoring again. So I'm going with Leverkusen at 1.73 for this first match.
I couldn't agree more. I'm definitely going with Leverkusen to win and over 1.5 goals. But before I go to Radek, just remember, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, give us a thumbs up so you're showing us your appreciation, and we will make sure that you never, ever miss any of our content. And that's right across the board, and that's any sport. Then we got 2 votes, Radek, for Leverkusen to win against Freiburg. Are you going against us?
No. It's definitely a bounce back for Leverkusen here, and a team like Freiburg, who gets 3 goals against very weak Frankfurt attackers. I think one of the best offensive or attacking sides in Germany with Leverkusen should hit them hard and bounce back in this game, and I expect them to score at least twice, or even 3 or 4 goals are possible here. So I even would go with a clear handicap win for Leverkusen. Asian handicap -1 on Leverkusen has to be around 2.0 or 2.1 in European odds, and I think, yeah, you have to support Leverkusen at this time. And on the other hand, you never know. Freiburg is a very difficult field there, you know. It's almost quadratic, and the sides are not that long as on other pitches in Germany, and every team struggles to play in Freiburg, but not Werder Bremen did. So Leverkusen has to win for sure, and yeah.
And where to put the Eintracht Frankfurt? They were about to win that match from 3-1. They had some crazy chances in the last 5 minutes of the game, and to come back from 3-1 and to win 4-3, that means that you have a mental problem being Freiburg. I mean,
for sure.
What else you want at 3-1 against such a poor side, like Flash said? Plus, we are speaking about Freiburg, who in the match with the Eintracht, when Flash said that Eintracht had more than 30 shots on goal, you know?
Yeah, it's an absolute disgrace, and they get what they deserve for me. And I think that Leverkusen will absolutely rip them apart. So that's us. We've all got 1 out of 1 winners. Let's go for the weekend. And this is probably one of the most improved sides, and a side that you don't want to be fading. And it's Hertha at +105, draw +265, and a side that don't let many goals in, Augsburg at +260, Radek.
Yes, I was hoping that Augsburg could win against Paderborn, but they didn't. And on the other hand, we have a very strong Hertha side, 2-2 against Leipzig, and they scored altogether 9 goals within the last 3 games after restart. So Hertha is the best attacking side in the Bundesliga since restart, even better than Bayern Munich, and they collected 7 points in these 3 games, and now they are favorite, but not that high favorite as you could expect after these 3 games. Bruno Labbadia is doing a obviously very good job there as a former striker. He taught them to strike goals, and I think that could be their advantage against Augsburg, where you don't know how they should win this game. But on the other hand, I'm a little bit of a fan of Augsburg, so I won't bet against them, and I don't trust Hertha, so I won't bet in this game anyway.
Okay, I think Hertha Berlin full of confidence, full of belief, and they're playing on the front foot, Alex. And I think at +105 or around +100, they seem to be a bet.
Yes, absolutely. I love them. 1.95. I found the best odds. Dedrick Boyata, I think that he is one of the key players. In this Hertha defense. Not only that Labbadia is doing great in the attack with Vedat Ibisevic coming back with some goals after the restart of the league, with Cunha, former RB Leipzig player who kept his former side to a 2-2 draw, having a brilliant performance. They have also some good bench players like Christoph Piątek. He scored with a penalty in the last minutes of the game. And we know that Christoph Piątek is a former player with great experience at AC Milan. He played also, I mean, they have a great side. This Luke Bacchio on the right side, for me, is one of the great players. I remember him scoring 3 goals against Bayern Munich when he was at Düsseldorf last year. So yeah, I love this side, and I love the confidence. And again, I will remind everyone that we have them to finish in top 10 as a future bet at 3.5. So don't forget that. I'm going with them against an Augsburg side who were unable to beat Paderborn, a really poor Paderborn side. But right now, I think that they will struggle to score against such a rock-solid defense of Hertha Berlin. So I wouldn't say to anyone not to bet on Hertha to win 2-0. I wouldn't. I will not. But I will go with a straight win. But I don't see Augsburg scoring. That's another story.
Yeah, there's no need to complicate it. When you're getting around plus 100, you said like minus is it 105 or 1.95. Then I just think that Hertha full of confidence, playing on the front foot, going from strength to strength. I think you just got to go with Hertha. Don't complicate it. Now the next game, Mainz at plus 200, the draw at plus 275, and Hoffenheim plus 138. And if you're wondering why I'm going well, last week in the Hoffenheim game, one of us three went for Hoffenheim, one went for the visitors, Koln, and one went for the draw. Won't tell you who went for Hoffenheim. But
it was time for you to have a good read on Koln's game. After backing them 2 rounds in a row, it was time to go against them and to win that bet, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't fool yourself, because they are playing again, this time against RB Leipzig. Let's see what you have there later on.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just wait. But listen, I'm not going to go for Hoffenheim to win here at Mainz because I don't trust either side, Alex.
Yeah, I don't trust either side, but I trust more Hoffenheim than I trust Mainz. So this is why I'm going with the Hoffenheim with Drono bet at 1.75. I was leaning towards a draw, Radek X bet, and maybe Radek has his bet for this match. But I'm still thinking that Hoffenheim with Drono bet has some value there at 1.75. Because this Mainz team is absolutely trash. And I hope that Werder Bremen will overcome them in the standings and they will go down at the end of the season, because they come on. Union Berlin were very unlucky not to beat them during this midweek round. But I'm really happy with that draw, because I predicted that draw against Union Berlin. But that match against RB Leipzig, when RB Leipzig could have scored at least 10 goals, it made me a great impression about Mainz. So it's about time to fade Mainz till the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm just not too sure about Hoffenheim, Alex. Radek, Hoffenheim, draw no bet at 1.75, which is around minus 133. That seems the way to go.
Yeah, I have it on my my notes. I hope you can read it. And
I'm surprised you can read that.
Yeah, totally agree, because I think the same, and that Mainz is a poor side, and Hoffenheim proved that they can win games and they can strike goals, and so I will bet on the trend, and Asian handicap 0 on Hoffenheim means you get back your money if it's a draw. You never can exclude a draw in the German Bundesliga, in my opinion. That's why I'm always betting on it. And in this case, I like the odds on Hoffenheim, Asian handicap 0 as well, and I also will bet on this year.
And obviously the trend is your friend, and you normally you go against that, Radek, but obviously you've been on a away side. Not many teams have won at home, and I certainly wouldn't want to be with Mainz here, but I wouldn't want to be with either side. Hoffenheim, they've got the money. I'm running. Now, Schalke, plus 145, draw plus 250, and Bremen plus 215. This is a game where all three, Radek, all three outcomes are possible.
Yeah, that's always the case. That's why it's called 1x2. And
no,
in this
it's not
case,
always the case. It's not always the case, Radek. How can that be the case when we're coming up with tips? What I'm saying is you wouldn't be surprised if Schalke won. You wouldn't be surprised if Bremen got something out of it, and you wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw. So what I'm saying is the game's wide open.
Totally understood, but I agree, and that's why I'm not betting on this game. I think Schalke didn't win 10 games in a row, they have to win this game desperately, as they had to win the last 5 games desperately. But in this case, they're facing a relegation team like Bremen. But Bremen managed to get 4 points in this week, and they maybe they have a new spirit, and they are not confused like Schalke is. And so, yeah, you said it completely right. I can't say who I trust less, and that's why I don't bet.
Honestly, we got there in the end, Radek. Now, Alex, let's talk about these sides, because these sides are so overrated. They think they're better than they are. And can you trust one more than the other?
Yeah, let's say that Schalke have nothing to play for. Let's say this, because they have no worries about being relegated. They have no hopes of catching the European positions. They're coming after so many. Since Bundesliga started, how many goals they scored? Let me think. 1. Wow.
34.
And yeah. And they lost all 3 matches. So I think that right now anyone in Bundesliga, even Paderborn, can beat Schalke. Düsseldorf showed great mental strength, beating Schalke, coming back from 1 goal down at their home, saying, "We are fighting for relegation. Let's do it." Schalke were 0. I don't really understand why they were so happy to score that goal, because we knew that was their only chance to score. And okay, they scored, and after that, what? Düsseldorf were all on top of them like sharks, ready to eat them alive. And this is what will happen again with Werder Bremen, who were very impressive, in my opinion, against Gladbach. They were 1 step away from winning all the 3 points, and they are that kind of team, always tough to play against the relegation-threatened teams. When you have nothing to play for and you play against a threatened team, a threatened for relegation, is always difficult to win points. This is why I'm going with Rashica, with Sargent and company, with David Klaassen, who is back, and I'm really happy to see him performing again at a great level. Eggenstein also was impressive against Gladbach. So I'm going with Werder Bremen, with Dronobet at 2.09 plus 109. But I'm going also with both teams to score at 1.75, because so bad Schalke are, but Werder Bremen will find a way to offer them some gaps at the back. And despite the fact that Schalke have not a number 9 right now in fit form, in fully fit to play, I think that they will score in this match. But I still think that Werder Bremen should go home with at least 1 point.
Yeah, it's a game that won't be on my telly, that is for sure. And I think it's an unders game. I think this is an under 2.5 goals.
I will call you to tell you how the game went.
Yeah, listen, if you're ringing me, well, I'll be watching one of the other games. Don't worry about that. And it will be the next game. But first of all, Radek, can you trust Schalke to beat Werder Bremen?
No, I talked about it, and I think they have to win, and you never know. They have to strike back one day, and if this is the day, maybe, but it's not a bet for me.
Okay, let's move on. Here's my absolute banker. Impressed with Wolfsburg second half against Dortmund. Then they go to Leverkusen, they score 3, they win, they look comfortable. They look back to the Wolfsburg before, where you doubt them at your peril. And they're plus 100 at home, draw plus 290. And Frankfurt, you can score anytime you like against us at plus 275. Steam into Wolfsburg, please, Alex.
Alex, classic all the way. Both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.87. I think that should be an over goals, over 3.5 goals. If you don't like the Alex Classic, you can play over 3.5. I think that there is plenty of value also in that. But Yes, I think that Wolfsburg have the first chance to win this game. I was a little bit worried about that defeat against Dortmund with the way they played in the first half. But I liked them how they came back from after the break and they dominated Dortmund in the second half. They were very unlucky not to find the back of the net. But yes, I like them. And after that crazy win against Leverkusen 4-1. Let's take also Wolfsburg to win this one at 1.94. So also the Alex Classic, also Wolfsburg win.
Yeah, Wolfsburg win. It's going to go in my parlay, and it's going to be one of my massive triple bankers. Radek, am I overconfident by going with Wolfsburg?
No, definitely the right bet. If you are looking at Frankfurt at the moment, they get a lot of goals inside their nets. And on the other hand, Wolfsburg managed to keep their defense up against a good offensive side like Leverkusen, and they only get 2 goals against a very strong attacking side, Borussia Dortmund. So the Wolfsburg defense is strong enough to shut down and win this game in the attacking. But I don't like the odds that much because you don't have to overrate this win against Leverkusen. So I think Leverkusen got 1 or 2 goals more than they should have, or they would have gotten if they defended correctly. And so I think, they win against Leverkusen, but this is a total another game, and I don't think Frankfurt is going there to just give them the points. At least 1 point is always possible for Frankfurt, no matter how they played in the last games, and that's why I don't see Wolfsburg with a clear win here as well. But I wish you good luck and shut my mouth.
Yeah, thank you. I see Wolfsburg. I see Wolfsburg win over 1.5. I see Wolfsburg -1. I see Wolfsburg, but I'm not going to complicate it. I am absolutely smashing Wolfsburg this weekend because what we've failed to say is that they went out and they outplayed Dortmund in the second half. Dortmund only had 2 shots on goal in the second half, and they killed off the game on an absolute breakaway because you know that Wolfsburg had to go and get something out of the game. They then took that momentum in and went into Leverkusen, and they not only won, they absolutely cruised. I think that Wolfsburg here are an absolute gift-wrapped, low-hanging fruit, and I am going to open it and enjoy it. Right.
And sorry, I want to add something very important. Both teams are fighting for something. If we were seeing Wolfsburg in 10th place, for example, with no hopes for the European position, maybe we would have another approach. Because Eintracht are fighting to avoid relegation. Let's not forget that they are just 2 points above the playoffs spot. The relegation playoff spot. But Wolfsburg are 6th in the standings, and they are fighting for that top 6 finish. And Hoffenheim and Freiburg and, okay, not Schalke, Hoffenheim and Freiburg are just few points behind them.
Yeah, and the big thing is with a lot of them sides, so they are actually, even though they might be safe from relegation, they are playing like relegation sides. Now let's move on. Bayern, -1,200, a draw at +1,400, and Fortuna at +4,000, Radek. But I think that Dusseldorf, with a handicap, might get something out of this game because this is probably the most spirited side, them and Hertha.
Yeah, it's a funny side. I haven't seen an odd like this for a long time, I think, and that's ridiculous because Fortuna Düsseldorf is not that bad at like the odds supposed to. I had a look on the Asian handicaps here for sure, and Fortuna Düsseldorf +3 is around fair value, so you get odds of 2.0 for that. And yeah, that means Bayern is not allowed to win with 3 goals or more. If they win with 3 goals, you get your money back. And I think this is a good bet because the team of Uwe Rösler, and you played against him, you told us, and since he's a coach of Fortuna, they are really improved and they're not a relegation side, despite they are standing on the third last place, but they're collecting points. They even won against Schalke, what is not a big wonder at the moment, but in this case, yeah, I would make a small gamble with yeah, I think even let's make half a unit on a Fortuna win, even because the odds are ridiculous high, and Bayern is just champion now. So I don't care about a half a union here, but if Fortuna makes the sensation of the year, and then yeah, I will laugh. But to be honest, my honest bet is really Asian handicap +3 on Fortuna with a regular unit, and side bet Fortuna half unit, Fortuna win. But yeah.
Alex, it looks like the stars have aligned for Uwe Rosler's men. Getting 3 goals, +100 on the back of Bayern going and beating Dortmund. They've worked so hard. There's a chance here that, yeah, listen, I'm not saying that Bayern are not going to win, but are they going to win by 3 goals?
You know me that I'm not playing odds of under 1.7, but this time I will play an odd of under 1.7. I have Fortuna Düsseldorf at +3.5 on the Asian handicap at 1.6, which I think that is huge value also in a parlay bet. Let's not forget the calendar. Let's not forget the schedule for Bayern Munich. So they have matches against. They have one of the toughest left calendars from the rest of the teams. Tougher than Dortmund, for example. They play next weekend. This weekend, okay, they will play Düsseldorf. After that, they will play Leverkusen. After that, they will play Gladbach. After that, okay, some 2 less important matches, but they have also against Wolfsburg in the last round, and also we have 2 midweek rounds coming on, not next week, but the week after. So again, those players are coming after 2 months and a half of lockdown, not fully fit. I think that it's time for Hansi Flick to put some important players on the bench and give the chance to some others to play. They will not play at their 100% because, again, they are 7 points clear at the top of the table. So my bets for this game, Düsseldorf +3.5 at 1.6, but I also have both teams to score at 2.2.
Okay, thrown that one in. Both teams to score at 2.2. Listen, I just love the belief and the togetherness of Uwe Rosler's men. Listen, I don't expect them to go there and win, but I think that 3 goals is a bit disrespectful. Let's move on. This is another one of them games where 2 weeks ago I'd have been all over the home side. Now I think I'll probably leave it alone, but the visitors are absolute trash. Gladbach -183, draw +333, and Union +550. Alex, it's got to be a home win, but I just don't see the value.
Yeah, Union Berlin, I think that they will not go down, but I still think that they are a bad side, and they showed us what they are capable of with the last 3 results. They were a bit unlucky in the midweek round not to beat Mainz. I think it's time for them to come back on earth, because Gladbach are by far the better side, and it's a must comeback, bounce back for Gladbach after two poor results in a row, that 3-1 defeat against Leverkusen and that goalless draw against Werder Bremen. I think that they will go. They will start the match on fire, and my only bet for this match is Gladbach to score in both halves at 2.4.
2.4 plus 140 for Gladbach to score in both halves. If Gladbach score 2, they score 1 in each half. Worst case scenario, they win this game, and that means you can go with Gladbach and over 1.5. Radek, have you got anything for this game?
Yeah, nice odds for Alex. I like this. And I'm pretty sure Gladbach is a far better side here. They have to collect points to get in the Champions League spots or stay there. And they are strong at home. I don't know what it means without the audience, but I think they know their ground very well and managed to win 9 out of 14 games. And especially if Gladbach plays against a beatable opponent like Union Berlin is for sure. They show their real face, their potential to score goals. They have a great roster, a great team, and so I'm betting here on Asian handicap -1 on Gladbach that they win at least with 1 goal in advantage, and the odds around 1.9 here. And I think this is a must-win for Gladbach, and if they win, I think they win with at least 2 or 3 goals advantage here. So that's my also banker of the week, if I can spoiler that.
Well, you're going to have to repeat it when I go through the rundown anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let me just tell you, if you press the link in the description, you'll also get the articles from Alex, so that you can just watch him on video. You can then read about what he's got to say, and these articles have been doing really well. I think he's maybe had 3 or 4 different parlay wins. So you just get yourselves over there, press the link in the description, and you can have a little read of what Alex has wrote. Now, Paderborn bottom +800 at home, draw +475, and Dortmund at -290. Where do we find the value, Radek?
Never ever value here because Dortmund must win, does not have to win this game now. I don't know what they are doing now. Maybe they hit them really hard, but the odds on Dortmund are not playable. And on the other hand, we have Paderborn. Yeah, they scored 3 goals in the first game of the season against Dortmund. They lead 3-0 at halftime against Dortmund, but that doesn't mean they can do it again. And that's why I think the Paderborn odds are really low here, not value like Fortuna has in Munich. And that's why I can't see a clear bet here, because I think Dortmund will do it, but 1 goal advantage, 2 goal advantage. I really don't care that much about Dortmund now. So that's a clear no value, no bet game.
Alex, is all the value about Paderborn getting a goal, and maybe going with the Alex Classic? Remember, there's no Haaland.
Remember, there's no Haaland. Remember, there's no Marco Reus till the end of the season. But to be honest, I think that is good that Haaland will miss this one. Because anyway, in the last 2 matches, he showed nothing. And most of all, against Bayern Munich, he was absolutely trash. I still think that Akanji, I still think that Guerrero, still think that Julian Brown, I think that they will play a line of 3 in front. I don't think that Lucien Favre will play Götze. So either he plays Götze instead of Haaland, which I don't think that he will. Either he plays the line of 3 with Hazard, Sancho, and Julian Brown. And I think that the last one, I think that this is how he will do it. Half-time, full-time for me, for Dortmund at 1.9. This is the only bet that I was thinking. Plus, I have one of my free team parlay bets is coming from this match.
Yes or no, does Paderborn score, Alex?
Tough. I hope, yeah, for the sake of the game, let's say that they will score.
So if they're going to score, then you're looking at the Alex Classic as well, because I think that's probably where the value lies, on just Paderborn getting a goal. Remember, they've scored 3 as a feel-good factor. They're fighting for their lives. And I'm still not having Dortmund being too clever at the back. They were all right against Bayern because they played 5 in midfield and had 3 front screens. So for me, I think Paderborn may well score, so that brings in the Alex Classic. OK, the final game is on Monday night. It's Cologne. Ha! +475, draw +370, and RB Leipzig at -171. Alex, and fade Cologne.
Yes, fade Cologne. A little bit worried with some injuries from RB Leipzig. First of all, Paulsen, and after that, Doubtful also Campbell. Paulson did an amazing job in the first two matches together with Werner in front. I didn't like Sabitzer at all in this one. Dani Olmo needs some more time to adapt with RB Leipzig. I think he's an incredible player, but he still needs some time to adapt. Koln, you cannot trust them, of course, like you said. I was very happy to see them score one goal against Hoffenheim because I had the Alex Classic there. But more than that, yes, you cannot trust Koln. And I need to fade them also this time. So I'm going with RB Leipzig to bounce back and return to winning ways. RB Leipzig to win and over 1.5 goals in the match at 1.73.
Yeah, totally agree. And the big problem I've got is with Cologne, their midfielders are all getting ahead of the ball. So, and then ball retention's not good. So they lose the ball 3 or 4 seconds later, the opposition are having a shot on their goal. So for me, I'm going with RB Leipzig, and I would not be surprised if they get 4 or 5 like they did against Mainz, Radek.
Yeah, if they were complete, for sure, that this would be a great opportunity for Leipzig to strike or to play their best cards. But yeah, Alex said they have some personal problems there. But anyways, they have a lot of good men on the bench and can definitely beat Cologne, and they have to beat Cologne. To be honest, after the last 2 games, they didn't win, I think, or did they win against one team? But I don't know. At least they didn't win against Hertha Berlin, and now we have Cologne, a game where they have to collect the points coming what want. And that's why I'm betting here as the same as on Gladbach. I will go with Asian handicap -1 on Leipzig here. The odds are around 1.9, and I think this is good enough because I'm pretty sure Leipzig has to win, will win, and why not with 2 goals in front or more?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm going with an team to win and over 1.5 parlay, and that's going to be Leverkusen, Wolfsburg and RB Leipzig. Alex, give me your rundown, please, and your banker at the end.
Leverkusen to win at 1.73. Hertha Berlin to win at 1.95. Hoffenheim with draw no bet at 1.75 against Mainz. Werder Bremen with draw no bet at 2.09, but also both teams to score in that match against Schalke at 1.75. Wolfsburg versus Eintracht, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in the match at 1.87, but also Wolfsburg to win at 1.94. I have Düsseldorf plus 3.5 on the Asian handicap at 1.6, but also both teams to score at 2.2. I have Gladbach to score in both halves at 2.4 against Union Berlin. I guess I have Dortmund halftime, full-time at 1.9 against Paderborn, and I have Leipzig and over 1.5 goal on the Asian handicap at 1.73 away at Cologne at FC Köln. My banker of the week for this one should be, it's tough, man. It's
Wolfsburg.
Tough, but I'm going with,
Wolfsburg.
I must go with, no, I must go with RB Leipzig and over 1.5 goals at 1.73.
Yeah, totally agree. And obviously you want to stick Wolfsburg in there as well. Radek.
Yes, I have Düsseldorf. Win for half a unit. Odds are 40, and I think it's worth a try, and it's a nice gamble. On the other hand, a serious bet on Düsseldorf, Asian handicap +3 around odds of 2. And then I have Asian handicap -1 on Gladbach, which is my banker for this weekend, and at the odd of 1.9. And I have Leipzig, the same bet, Asian handicap -1 with the odd of 1.9. And Hoffenheim, draw no bet, 1.75. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Listen, I'm very, very rarely are you going to miss. It's when you add them on, I start getting worried. Now, before I say goodbye to the gentlemen, then please, if you like this video, then subscribe, press the button, and give us a thumbs up, because then that we know how much you appreciate us, and we'll notify you with all your content. And don't forget, Alex has done an article, so press the link in the description. Go over and have a read, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Alex, Radek, have a great weekend, and let's make sure we get our parlays, we get our singles, and Wolfsburg is the triple banker. See you next week.